Hello and welcome to another edition of Brave Pointers. I'm Bruce Thompson, your host, and I'm here today with David Fleming.
Hey Bruce, it's good to be here.
Thanks for being with us, David. So David, I hear you've been working with some software for project management, or some tools for project management. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. We've been working with Trac. What Trac is it's an open source SCM, which means Software Configuration Management Tool. It's made our software development process, a million times better. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory. The reason that we needed this was because we opened a new service, Managed QAD Services, and we had a lot of customers that had source code that we wanted to keep separate from everybody else, and we wanted to be able to track bugs as like a help desk type thing. And that's why we needed that. Now, we went on the market, looked at every product that was out there. We found hundreds, and basically the gist of it is that we went with Trac because it was free, and two, it had a small footprint, and had a lot of good features that we really needed, plus expandability. So that was the reasoning behind that.
All right. Well, that sounds great, David, but can you tell us a little bit more about software configuration management?
Sure. Software configuration management is basically the process of bug tracking or control of the software development process.
All right.
So basically, SCM systems typically will have version control, team programming, and team collaboration functionalities built in. So what all that basically means is that it's just a really good place for developers and project managers to all meet in the middle from anywhere, because it's web-based. So it's just a really positive place for everybody to be for a project.
Well, that sounds great, David, but more specifically, what are some of the special features in Trac that we like here at BravePoint?
Okay, well that's easy. First off, version control, which is Subversion. It's another open source product. Secondly is the statistical planning and gathering of information for project managers. Also bug tracking. Those are the main things. Also expandability is a big bonus. So we can add plugins to do all sorts of really neat stuff.
Okay. So you mentioned Subversion. What is Subversion and how does it relate to Trac? Okay,
Subversion, like I said, is open source version control software. Basically, it's independent of Trac, so it sits alone by itself on the web server. However, Trac does act as a portal into the Subversion repository. So anywhere in the world, without having a Subversion client, a programmer or a project manager can look into the repository and see what's happened with the source code. Look at any revision at any given time and just see where the general source code is at any point, or documents or whatever else that you may have in the repository.
All right, Dave, that's interesting, but the real question is if Trac and Subversion are open source and anybody can download them, why are we here to talk about it?
First off, Trac and Subversion, after 50 or 60 installs, I've come to believe that it's a very difficult process. You don't want to be going at this alone, installing, setting up, and configuring. It's time consuming. That's the first reason. Secondly, we want all of our viewers to be as efficient as possible and productive. That's the last reason.
All right. Well, that makes sense. So now what I'd like to see is some of the product and see what it looks like. Can you show us some screens or some samples, or can you show us what Trac looks like?
I'd be glad to. Let's go.
All right, let's take a look.
Okay, Bruce, what we're going to do today is we're going to go through a few things. Team collaboration, source code control or revision control. We're going to go through the ticket system, and we're going to go through some project management features. Okay, first off, we have the wiki. The wiki is just like any other wiki page at wikipedia.com, excuse me. You can add any kind of links, to other wiki pages. You can create as many as you want. You can put any kind of information that you want to. It's a good place for teams to collaborate in that they can add information that's important or pertinent to the project on this main page, which this will be the first page that you see when you log in. So that's a bonus. Okay. Secondly, we have things such as the discussion forums. We're not going to really go into that today, but the discussion forums allow you to obviously discuss things, and project members can be anywhere in the world and you can all discuss something. So it kind of shortens the distance between project members if they need to be remote. Okay, and next we have the blog. A blog is just basically like any other blog that you've ever seen. You can post any kind of information that you want to. You can add, there's features that will allow you to search for certain posts by certain people and all those sort of things. So it's all pretty much standard stuff, but it is a bonus for the project. Okay, next we're going to go into the repository. This actually gives you a editor, that will allow you to look at the source code.
All right, is the editor a true editor? Can I actually edit this code here?
No, actually you cannot edit the code here. I should have said it's a viewer. More or less, this is just a portal into the Subversion repository that just allows you to see the source code and look at it. That's all.
Well, is there something in Trac that lets them actually edit the code, or do we need something else?
That's a good question. Actually, it's a third-party client that we use that will allow you to connect to the repository, check out the code to your local machine, make modifications, and then check them back in.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually nothing to do with Trac. It's more or less Trac is just more or less a portal into the repository to let you see the source code or documents or web pages or whatever you've got stored in there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it'll also allow you to look at certain revisions inside the repository at any given point. Like if you're working on something and you remember certain revisions, okay, that was revision 2. You can actually type here revision 2, and it'll take you back and let you look at that specific point.
Well, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's a cool feature. Okay, that's pretty much it for the revision control. I mean, we could go into more detail, but we don't really have time today.
One question. You said it's drill down. We have trunk, client, GUI across the top here. That's just coming. Okay, so we basically just have a tree type structure or a drill down capability to wherever we want to go.
You can go look at anywhere in the repository, and you can customize the structure to fit your project. Yeah, it makes it more efficient. Okay, next we have the ticket system. I'm going to show you the layout of a ticket. You have certain fields on here that are stock fields that you can't really change, such as summary, reporter, description, assigned to, type, milestone, version, component, and priority. These are stock fields. These are default fields. You can hide them, but you can't change them.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Okay, go ahead.
The purpose of a ticket is what?
It's basically for bug tracking. You know, if somebody, they're working on some code and they find a bug in a program or whatever, they can report this ticket here. Or if you can actually use this for all sorts of different things. It's really just kind of a end-all, be-all for bug tracking or issue tracking.
I got you.
Okay. So anyway, so the default fields will allow you to put in standard information that will allow you to handle the issue or the bug or whatever it is. You can also customize a lot of fields. You can create new fields. You can attach files to the ticket. You can preview the ticket before you actually create it.
Okay.
There's a lot of neat little plugins that will allow you to add functionality, such as a WYSIWYG plugin. You can put tables and all sorts of stuff inside the ticket, so it makes it a lot more efficient for people to be able to do things to it. Also, there's several fields that will have some code running in the background. Reporter, assigned to, and carbon copy. They will allow you to do special things, like if you assigned a ticket to a specific person in the project, you can get email notifications, and if you put their email address in the carbon copy field, they'll be notified every time the ticket changes. And you can also set it up for the reporter. Every time something happens to their ticket, they can be notified.
Now, I think I know the answer to this, but can anybody make these changes, or is this a responsibility of, say, an administrative type role?
This is a responsibility of whoever has permissions for those specific functions.
So it's not just wide open.
No, it's not wide open. You can customize permissions to be as fine-grained or as loose as you want.
Excellent.
So that's pretty much all there is to, for the actual ticket. Next, we have some reports. This is how you're going to look at your tickets once you have a whole pool of tickets to look at. They give you about 10 stock reports that allows you to do your basic stuff, and then you can go over here and you can actually customize your own reports and find exactly only the tickets that you want. You can customize what columns that you see in the report and all of that. It's pretty basic stuff, but that's pretty much how that works.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so once you run a report, it gives you a listing of the tickets, for whatever your search criteria may be. It allows you to actually click on the ticket, go in here, you can see what the changes were made, and you can see the attachments that are in there, the history for the ticket. You can actually go in here and make modifications if you have permissions. You can accept responsibility for the ticket, reassign it to somebody else. If it's closed, you can resolve the ticket and put a resolution there. You can also download all of the tickets that are in the reports as an Excel spreadsheet or something, so you can export it, send it for reporting purposes, monthly or whatever you might want to do.
Wow, pretty much anything you need to do with this.
Absolutely. You can pretty much do anything you need to do. But that's pretty much it for the ticket systems. Okay, next we're going to talk about some project management features. And the project management features, we're going to start off with the milestone planning. Milestone planning will allow a project manager to basically set deadlines, and they can get a snapshot of where the project is at any given point. As you can see, it gives information about the number of tickets for that specific milestone. It gives you a little bit of information about the milestone. You can attach files or put graphs or whatever you want to in here, and it'll allow you to see where the project is for that milestone. Next, we have the statistical information gathering portion of Trac.
Does that say statistics?
That's correct. It's Stractistics. I guess it's a play on words. But anyway, it's a really cool plugin that allows you to see different things about the Trac project. Whether it be repository activity for check-ins, check-outs, for source code control, or the ticket activity. What tickets are closed and which ones are new and accepted and assigned. and then it gives you the information for the wiki activity to see who's changed the wiki, when they did it, all that sort of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the project management stuff. You can actually see, a little bit of a timeline snapshot for, the last whatever amount of time that you want to show. It tells you who created tickets and, dates them, and all that pretty much stuff is standard.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it for this, a good overview for a quick snapshot of where we are with the project. We could go into more detail, but we don't really have time. But I will say this, you can go to the Trac website if you want to know more, and you can go and read all their information. You can download it, play with it if you want to. If you can try and install it. It's actually very difficult to install, but the information is out there. It is open source, and
I see it says trac.edgewall.org on the URL. What is Edgewall? Is that the...
It's a company. It's actually a company that designed the core for Trac.
Okay.
And a lot of the plugins and stuff that we've shown, those are actually third-party outside of the this company. They're more or less, it's part of a community. The community is really big. It's open source, so everybody can work on it. They allow you to modify the source code so people can customize for their own application.
Well, let me make sure I heard you right. This URL that we're looking at right here is a good place to go and read up more on Trac and to download. I see we've got a demo site, but this is not a quick click the switch and it's all installed, right?
No, absolutely it's not.
Okay.
The demo site will give you an idea of what the Trac site will look like, but as far as installing and stuff, it's not something for beginners. It's definitely something that you need a more experienced person to be dealing with. But that's pretty much it for the overview. If you need any more information, like I said, you can go to trac.edgewall.org.
All right, David, thanks for that demo. Appreciate that.
Sure thing. It is a full-featured product, and I'm glad we got the opportunity to show some viewers today. I hope we can do this some more in the future.
Well, it's a very timely topic because even now we're getting customers calling in wanting to know about project management and software configuration management, and they're needing help. So we look forward to seeing maybe some more about Trac, but in the meantime, thanks for being with us today, and we look forward to seeing you again on the next Brave Pointer.
Thank you.